not only real estate, but anything we buy, we as a human being always like to purchase the first time any product which we buy, whether it is car or a property or anything we buy, we prefer the first sales. Having said that, there are always an advantage of buying the new properties for the various reasons. The predominant reasons would be A, it is unused, the valuation of the property start from day one. Second advantage of the same is you get a payment schedule over there, because any under construction, maximum transactions which are happening not only in Bombay but across India, people buy under construction property because they get time to make the payment, which is not possible into the resale transaction. So certainly the biggest advantage that people get a time for making the payment into the first sales, when they buy the properties from the developer. Third thing, because it is, I'm the first purchaser of the property when we buy in the primary sales, we are going to use it first time. It's a matter of price. It's a more non-quantified benefits which people agree as far as it's more emotional, because I'm going to use it first time. We will do the interior the way we want to do it type. It's your blank canvas. You draw the way you want to before you shift it, which sometimes may not possible as far as the resale transactions are concerned. And certainly the biggest advantage is when you buy a property from the developer directly, the title is verified, because in the RERA regime today, without titles and all that, RERA approval doesn't come. And in that case, any purchaser buying today into the primary sales will get rest assured as far as title of the property is concerned, which may require more due diligence in terms of resale transactions. The biggest advantage of buying any resale property transaction, I mean, if I want to buy under construction property, any buyer's biggest fear is the possession risk, which is get nullified, and that there's completely zero risk in terms of resale transaction, because what you want to buy today, you are able to see it being used by the existing seller. Only thing one has to be very careful while buying a resale transaction is the title of the property, A, and secondly the OC and the required NOCs from various other documents from the society. The second big advantage, which though varies from transaction to transaction, is most of the time the flats are done up by the existing seller, and sometimes the cost of redoing the apartment goes down based on the taste of the buyer, but yeah, I mean that's a negligible. So cost is actually a relative subject, because when I buy a primary sales property, I get a time to make the payment. The interest component, etc., comes into the picture. The home loan comes into the picture, and various other parameters. When we buy the resale transaction, I think there is always a benchmark in terms of the existing transaction happening into that society. A lot of nowadays, with that index tools information available so openly in the market, anybody can verify the transaction rate which is asked by the seller, whether it is justified or not. So certainly there is a price difference, but also price difference varies because most of the time the resale apartments are done up, and the seller will also try to capitalize on the investment made by him into the interiors done by them. So the resale property, but the price always vary, from location to location. At what rate the price was sold at that time in the primary market, and how the market dynamics has changed over a period, and what is the time difference between. So if I say the age of the property, if it is very old, certainly the price appreciations will be negligible or marginal. So in terms of, suppose for example, when I sold my property 2 years back and the buyer come forward to make a purchase, there was a loan going on it. So the most critical aspect which any buyer for a resale property should look into is the original agreement for sale A. If there is no home loan by the primary purchaser, then it will be readily available with them. And if he has taken a loan, then ensure that he will pay the required dues to the existing bank, have the closure letter from the bank, and also all the original document, including agreement for sale, including all receipts, including NOCs, from the bank should be obtained, and the required documents, including the NOCs from the society, also should be at least study before doing the agreement for sale for the resale property. And the most important is also share certificate from the society, just to ensure the title of the property is clear. Take a decision, but in a line of more information which is available, which was not the case before. But with this anything available online, it's very easy to understand at what rate the resale transactions are happening and why we should pay that kind of money for the resale property. Before making purchase with the resale property, always try to understand what rate prevailing in that market in couple of other societies, to have that competitive comparison and make a very calculated, informed decision purchase.